Greetings, everyone. I am very excited to be back in conversation with Kelly Kolodney today. I really value our friendship, Kelly, and I have such respect for you and for the work that you're doing.
Mm.
You've been a channeler now since 1989, channeling Angel Raphael, and I so respect how your work is supporting us in increasing our consciousness in this time of transition and transformation that we're all in. And I know I'll put links to your YouTube channel and your website below, but I know you do a lot of teaching of the Master Ascension light codes and support people with those activations and really give a lot of guidance about how we can navigate this time. So thank you for being here today.
Oh my gosh. Thanks so much for having me. I'm so happy to be with you. Truly, really happy.
And I'm excited about our conversation today. We're going to be connecting with Angel Raphael and asking about 3I-Atlas and what the meaning of this comet is for us in this time. But
Mm.
before we get into that, I would love to just talk about it's been a month since we last talked, and we were just talking before getting on the recording about how much things are shifting so rapidly right now. So I'd love to hear how you're navigating this time and about this amazing retreat that you've got planned.
Yeah, so it feels like everything's moving so fast. We were talking about that before we put the recorder on. Like days are just flying by so quickly. And time seems different. And sometimes, I'll be talking to people that everything feels a little bit surreal, like I can't quite put my finger on what it is, but you feel like something is just so different on so many levels. So I know sometimes people call it like a glitch almost in the matrix, right? Like a bleed through into another reality. And Raphael often says we're on the bridge between these two realms, and we're in neither of them right now. We're kind of bracing both, or straddling both. So yeah, you had mentioned this retreat, and so something happened which I thought was interesting for me. Raphael's been talking about since the spring of March 2025 during the equinox, where you often talk and reference the end of the Kali Yuga and this period of time of moving into a new cycle. I also got at the same time, not knowing you were discussing that or others, the same information. And then it talked about between then and December, this 9 month period where we were going through this huge leap in consciousness. And that as we come to toward the winter solstice, that there would be some type of um, connection or change, often even was referred to sort of as like this galactic baby, which I don't quite understand, but this real shift in our consciousness, a birthing of a new reality. And during that process, there's these different things that we go through. We worked with what's called the galactic white horse, which Kalki, who comes on to open the gates, riding the white horse into the golden age, came. And then we worked with energy around transmutation and the changing of the guard from a very masculine into more of a feminine energy. And now we're moving into what's called the Sacred Holy Womb Light Code. And Raphael had given me this information about the womb, at the empty, the void, the space of nothingness, where obviously we can tap into that frequency where we have the potency for creation itself. And I went back to and referenced the book to the Ascension Light Codes, and I was reading it, and it talks about in there about really embracing and moving into the dark, like the actual physical darkness. And at the time, it was more about spending time at night and being in the dark and attuning to those vibrations. And as I'm preparing for this code that's coming up at the end of October, I think it's like the 27th, I got an email from somebody who I'd reached out to over a year ago about a dark retreat. And they said an opening just happened to open up, so it was perfect and synchronistic. And would I want to come and spend 3 days in the darkness? Well, sounds like you're mad, right? My son was like, "Well, that's what people do in solitary confinement." Like, that's insane. My husband's like, "Well, if you feel like it, that's okay. I'll drive you up there." So I know it's pretty out there, but basically what it is that you do is you go into a room for 3 days and it's pitch black and you have to adjust. And I I felt that the universe had just set it up for me like it was perfect because there couldn't be anything more in alignment with connecting with the womb and creation and the darkness and the womb space that we really drop into this place where we're cradled and we're held in the dark. And I don't know what my experience is going to be like, and maybe we can have a conversation afterwards. Not sure how it will unfold. But my sense is that it will be an opportunity to continue to meet the darkness wherever it meet and be curious of it and just drop into surrendering to it. And especially if fear might come up or feeling a sense of deprivation or confusion or emotions and feelings as an opportunity to deconstruct and remove myself into a place where I'm really have to be like completely with myself. And it feels so important right now because Raphael's been talking a lot about how as a collective we're so distracted all the time and on our phone and on our computer and removing ourselves more and more and more from just our presence. And sometimes I find it even hard to have 3 or 4 hours where I'm not picking up my phone or getting on my computer, even if I'm conscious, I'm going to go be in nature or I'm going to just shut everything down for a while. Like there's something always pulling me back, but I got to check that email or something. I heard that ding, right? And so this kind of is a forced opportunity to release distraction, to be present, to be in stillness and the nothingness. And have a sense that what will happen, and I don't know, is that as I'm in the darkness, I'll just keep coming up against layers, and I'm hoping I have the wherewithal to continue to surrender and surrender and surrender to find that pearl, that essence, that core. And I believe that Raphael is guiding me, Archangel Raphael, to this process to prepare for the womb space so that I can be in that empty space so I can guide others because we can't birth a new reality if we are so have all this other we're so distracted with so much coming in we have to empty in order to move into the creation process, right, in order to bring forth something new. And I think that 3I-Atlas, and we'll see what Raphael says, is part of this. And it's interesting because, of course, the comet was nowhere in sight when I originally got this information, but it seems to be coming closest to the Earth right around that winter solstice time. I think it's like December 19th. So it's
Mhm.
highly coincidental. Um, and so we'll say synchronistic, magical, or however we want to look at it. Um,
It's also interesting that when you'll be in your retreat, the end of October, is that right?
yeah,
It will be behind the sun at its closest to the sun, but invisible.
invisible.
I think that's going to be a very powerful time for your retreat. And Kelly, part of what's so powerful about that is you're really tapping into a very ancient initiation process.
Exactly.
So many ancient cultures, and this is my experience being in the Great Pyramid, and I'm headed to Egypt at the end of October, um,
That's
is
your
that,
initiation.
but my sense of the king's chamber and the sarcophagus is that people went into the sarcophagus for 3 days to
Mhm.
be in darkness, to be so many of the ancient mystery schools were about simulating that experience of death. to move into rebirth. And
Exactly.
that understanding that we've disconnected from in modern times, that we have to honor the liminal time, the death of the old ways of being and our old identity, to be in that time of transformation to move into the new forms. So, in such a profound way, you're experiencing that, and your womb codes are helping guide us collectively through this transition time of death, rebirth. But you're also honoring the power of that liminal time and the wisdom of the darkness, of being in the mystery, being in the not knowing, and really
Exactly.
allowing that.
Exactly. It's so, the indigenous, and when we think of the Tibetan monks, for instance, going into the cave, 41 days they would be in there and in that darkness. And as you're talking about in Egypt, it's like from the tomb to the womb.
Exactly.
Right, right. And I think, and I don't know because I haven't had this experience and I don't know if the 3 days is enough, but it is a death of sorts and it's meeting death, which we will all meet. It's a preparation for death. And metaphorically, this is a preparation for a death of our personality matrix, of our ego, of the world in which we knew. And I think collectively and on a global scale, we're all grieving, or at least I am profoundly grieving the world we knew, that felt very much more solid, more familiar. You knew what was true. There were certain kind of rules. You knew what to expect. There was just this sense of security. And I don't know if it was a false security and it's a construct that's disappearing and needs to dissolve and die for something new to be born. But we could kind of knew what was real, what like it, or at least it felt that way, even if it wasn't true. And in recent years, everything seems so like
Surreal is a
all
good word
right.
for it. Yes.
What? Surreal.
Surreal is a good word for it. And I don't know if you feel this, Kelly, but I also feel almost like everything is more fluid and fluctuating and uncertain. It's like we're in a dimensional shift. I think we are in a dimensional
Yeah.
shift, but nothing feels solid or clear. It's all shifting.
It's all shifting. And at the same time, it feels more malleable in that through our consciousness, we can direct it more than ever. So even though it's more uncertain and it feels like everything's shaking beneath our feet, if we're conscious with our intent, we're manifesting, we're creating, we're opening timelines faster than ever because it is so fluid. We can kind of, with our consciousness and our intention, direct it places, which is also incredibly powerful. Where before, even though it was familiar, it felt more concrete, like we couldn't move it. And this is how it is, and this is what you do, right? And there were more constructs, more rules, more expectations of you do this and this and this and this in life. And now we're like, well, do I have to do that, or do you still need to go to college, or right? Everything that we it was like an absolute before. We're questioning everything, but we're also able to change it, play with it, direct it in different ways than we could before. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because we are moving into a new age, into new paradigms, into a new dimensional way of being. We're becoming more and more light bodies. So
Mm,
there's less density.
exactly.
And like you said, there's a sense of uncertainty or loss with that, but it is opening us up to more freedom and more expansive consciousness as we're going
Yeah.
through this shift.
So much more freedom, personally and collectively and globally, and a lot more, questioning things, more curiosity, even in the roles we play in our family or in expectations or how we should or shouldn't do things. There's more space. Um, for being really authentic to who we are and allowing that to come forward without, we might still get pushback, but it's really shifting and it's really beautiful. I think it's an extraordinary time, although not always easy.
Part of what I really respect in what you're doing with this retreat is in the midst of this time of shift and the uncertainty, many, and I feel this sometimes myself, many of us long to have something outside of us tell us what's going to happen, what do we do, how do we deal with this? And part of what you're doing with this retreat, and part of what I know is an ongoing theme in your life, is that importance of going within
Mm.
and doing our own inner work and attuning to our own inner guidance and listening to our own hearts and really being in our own inner transformational process as we're moving through this shift.
Yeah, that 100%. And I always share that if I'm teaching. I always say, I'm here just to bring some light or awareness to something, bring you through a transmission to receive something. But please, no, always, there's nothing to do, it always comes from inside. And people are more and more or less looking outward, or I hope so, to click on something to find the answer because it's not on, we're sharing this information right now on YouTube, and that's wonderful, but the answers are not on YouTube.
That's
And we
right.
can get sucked into a rabbit hole of like, oh, what's going to happen? And what is 3I-Atlas? And, all these things. And it's exciting when we want to know, we want to stay informed and connected to our communities and listen to information, but we have to be very selective and conscious of how much time we're doing that and who we're listening to and what frequency they're giving off and if they are in integrity and if they're radiating love, and not get caught in being so distracted by fear mongering information that takes us off on some crazy tangent because as we were saying how important and how malleable the frequencies are right now that we can merge with timelines, create beautiful openings, passageways to new experiences, but we can just as easily create timelines that are very divisive and destructive. And both are happening simultaneously right now.
I was just going to say, we're already feeling that experience of the dimensional divide and different timelines. And I know you and I were talking about that in our last conversation.
Yeah.
Um, but circling back to your womb codes, some of what I
Yeah.
think is so powerful about that is that, as I'm sure you know, our galactic center is
Mm,
our womb of the galaxy. It
mm,
is that black hole from which everything has been birthed. And as of 2024, it's reactivated. It's been dormant for thousands of years, but it's now sending out frequencies. We're getting these activations from the sun. We're getting these frequencies coming to us from the galactic center, all to support us in this time of transformation. But it feels like your womb codes are tapping into this death rebirth we're going through collectively, but also our deep connection with those energies from the galactic center, our cosmic womb.
yeah, 100%. And I'm sure the transmissions will be, it's interesting for 9 days. And we will go into that galactic core, into the primordial core in the earth, into the womb
Beautiful.
space in both, as above, so below. And then we will open that and connect with the mother of creation, the divine mother, and attune to also light conception, to bring forth this avatar is what they're speaking of, this frequency of light that's not a person, but a consciousness as we give birth to it in the winter solstice time, as we've cultivated and embodied this very deeply feminine energy that's coming into, in some regards, to kind of meet Christ consciousness vibration that's also very present during that time in December, right? And that having more of an angular vibration of the 1212, the 144, the 12 pointed star, the pyramid energy, the Christ vibration with this softer cosmic mother feminine infinity sign, fluid, dark energy. If we think of that feminine with the moon and the darkness and creation that's been deeply denied for so long, and going into that womb space and meeting that darkness, meeting the divine mother creational energy, and then merging it with this Christ consciousness, this union of this spark that then gives birth to whatever is arising coming up in the winter. So I feel deeply guided by Raphael that we're going through these steps, and that this womb code that we'll do at the end of October will carry us close to December, and then we're going to get into more of a working with Mary Magdalene at the very end and bringing that up. I'm going to be working with Emilio with teaching Christ consciousness stuff, and then merging the two for this beautiful winter solstice activation. And it just feels very powerful and on point. And somehow I think it's even connected to this comet, and it's all connected. And I
It,
don't know
it,
how it all works or what it means, but it's something important.
this is so powerful, Kelly, and it does all feel connected. And this might be a good time to transition into connecting with Angel Raphael in terms of this, because it is so fascinating that 2 days before the winter solstice here in the north, summer solstice in the southern hemisphere, 3I-Atlas will make its closest pass to the Earth. So it
Right.
feels like it's part of this activation that you're going to be supporting us in attuning to. So it'd be great to get more insight about how we can work with this comet, what its meaning is, and how it's guiding us in this transition time.
Okay. All right. So I'll bring in Raphael. So those who don't know me, I've been channeling quite a long time. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to make these toning sounds, and my hands sort of move. And then Raphael comes in and says hello. And then Heather, if you could say hello back, that the energy connects then. And anybody listening can say hello wherever they are, and that they tune in then to the frequency. Um, and I had the sense that, although I'm not channeling 3I-Atlas, that in order to blend with its vibration, that it might speak in the first person as 3I-Atlas, and that way it's easier to really attune to the purity of its vibration, if that makes sense.
Totally.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. Mm. And Heather, you can ask Raphael or 3A-Atlas any questions you want about it. That will help guide the conversation. Oh, 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 hello.
Hello.
Hello, 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 hello.
We're honored, Angel Raphael, to have you with us today. Thank you.
Mhm. Wow, wow. We are very delighted to be here at this moment and to attune to you and your magnificent and gentle and calming and beautiful energy. And it is our understanding that there are things in which you're wanting to talk about. And so, what is it?
Thank you. We would love some of your guidance and wisdom about 3I-Atlas, this comet that's come into our solar system, and what its meaning may be for us, or what its guidance or message may be for us in this time.
We are attuning to this energy and frequency and have been speaking to you for quite some time that a very powerful vibration was approaching your planet that would be arriving around the time of the winter solstice as you would be receiving what is needed to open the aperture within the birth canal for the birthing of a new reality. And it is, of course, that this energy is extraordinarily potent and powerful and ancient. And as we are tuning to its vibration, it shall speak to you at this time as we are blending with it in this way, as I will be the interpreter for this comment that you are speaking of 3I-Atlas, in which it finds it very funny that you have all decided to name it in this way, but we will attune to it now. There, first of all, wants to be some clarity in that there is a lot of information about this and speculation that it is perhaps an alien object or a mothership, and there is a lot of fear around it, or that it is going to implode, or that it is going to affect the earth, or that there's going to be some war of some kind and some thing to be terrified of. And the word terrified is one that has been shared, and we are wanting to eliminate that completely from the consciousness, for there is nothing at all to fear about this energy or this vibration. And now that that is said, we can attune to its beautiful light. I am what you're calling 3I-Atlas, and I come from a very distant and ancient place, and I am a delivery system. I am delivering energy and minerals and information and codes and gases that are bringing phosphorus and vibrations that are to counteract the synthetic intelligence that is being amplified here at this time on your planet as a balancing sequence to begin to support all of you in an upgrade on your evolutionary process and on a biological level. It is that I am coming through and with a particular mission in a sense, but I am natural. There is some understanding that perhaps I am being guided by something outside of myself, and that is true, for I am a consciousness of love, and I am billions and billions of years old. And of course, there is an operating system in which I am guided by and attuned and connected to, and yet cannot be understood through the understanding of the consciousness in which you are presently residing in at this time on earth. But simultaneously, I am composed of natural components, compounds, and chemicals, but I am encoded with information that is deeply ancient and within the water, and that which is very cold within my ice structures and crystalline frequencies. I carry information and systems also within my chemical compounds that are delivering ancient information that has been placed on a trajectory to arrive at a specific time, and that arrival is coming at a rapid pace toward where it is that you are. I am first interacting within your solar system, although this is new to me, for I am from an ancient place that is beyond this system in which you are familiar with your telescopes and understanding of the universe. And I have come from where you perceive me a very long way, and yet simultaneously I have come in the flash of an instant instantaneous moment, arriving exactly at a time in which I am here to amplify and to fertilize, for I am a delivery system of fertilization of compounds and energies that are merged with the water structures. You are coming into familiarity and deeper understanding of the power and potency and consciousness of your water on your earth that is also shifting as it is merging with the primordial water that is rising from deep within the core of the earth. I too am carrying water within the components of my energy body that are being infused and interacting with other compounds and metals, minerals, and phosphorus, which is then going to be delivered. And in my delivery system, as I pass where it is that you are, it will be a spark. That will be a cascading of events that will unfold, and some of these will be connected on a geological level within the compounds of your Earth and its surface, and perhaps even a change in the magnetics, and there will be some volcanic eruptions, or should we say connections to springs that will give off changes that will then impact the biological evolutionary process on your planet as that of my what you think of as dust or gases and energies of information and codes begin to interact, carried by my water to yours to spark a new process. But just as your evolutionary and biological process has taken millions of years to unfold and to develop through the seeding process that has come from galactic beings and from the core itself. This delivery system is doing this the same, but not perhaps in the way in which you would normally perceive it through your perception, and is the starting point. It is a spark of energy that is arriving at this time that will carry you through a shift or an evolutionary leap in not just your consciousness, but on a biological level where it will have an impact on your DNA and RNA. This will also have an impact on the telomeres and the longevity of your species and your capacity to adapt to the changing climate on your planet so that you will be able to be in relationship with this. This is an energy, however, that will speed up capacities and awaken gifts that have been dormant, as you have often heard of and been speaking of within the body itself, that then will have the capacity to stay on par with the synthetic intelligence that is rising on your planet and will surpass it as long as those who are choosing to remain in full consciousness and connection with their biological evolution will surpass that of the synthetic evolution or artificial way of perception. These two timelines are arising at this time, and this is a cycle that has repeated through historical understanding on your planet before. And we are here as this delivery system in the support of the evolution in the most natural way, in which the components that are coming from the systems of information that has been encoded through billions of years of our travel, passing and bringing forth this information will have an impact upon you. It is that I am doing this, but not alone. And as you are aware, there are many other comets accompanying me. However, they are not carrying the same delivery system, nor do they carry the same components or the same consciousness, ancient codings, and information that I have. As I will be connecting with the sun very shortly and attuning to it, there will be an exchange, for we are going to have a bit of a rendezvous. And as we attune to one another, that I will be receiving what I am needing from the warming. The warming itself will create an interaction within me and will affect the water component that will have an impact on the planet as I'm coming closer to you. However, it is the similar in that I will be exchanging this information, and that information encoded within the plasmic light will give off larger spikes of flares by your sun, and the solar wind will carry my codes to you. The sun is like my delivery system as I am seeding or fertilizing these frequencies, and that is carried. And this is one way in which it will be carried. However, there will be other delivery systems through the wind itself and the water as the vaporized gases are able to interact with the earth plane and its frequencies. During the descendant of these energies, you will feel this, and it might create a spike in the shaking, in which you have labeled or named as earthquakes around your planet. But from that, there is primordial waters that will rise in between these spaces that are also carrying codes and components that are needed for a quantum leap in not only consciousness but biological life, a metamorphosis of sorts. And so all of this is happening simultaneously as I continue on my passage and move through. There are some scenarios in which misinformation will be perhaps projected within the holographic field as a perception that I am something to be afraid of, or that I am operated by some intelligence that is invading you or would want to bring harm to you. And this is absolutely false and not true, and no attention or credence should be given to such ideas. However, there is a potential timeline of utilizing my energy and information to spread misinformation, and we support and advise you to deeply remain rooted in the guided understanding that I come as a benevolent being of light to support you in your awakening process.
Hmm, thank you. And are there ways that we can be opening fully to these energies and the transformation that's being brought to us and avoid resisting that? How can we best open to these energies and these changes that are coming?
Oh, it is to move into the heart, for you can only receive these codes and this through the heart, for it cannot be absorbed through the mind. And it is that returning to ancient ways, and to the song, to the breath, to the mantra, to the sound, to the light, to the forest, to the nature, to the spaciousness, to the water, to the emptiness, to the void, to the nothingness. And of course, as we are tuning to Kelly, to the womb space of the darkness, shall you receive our energy and our encodings. They cannot be absorbed on a cellular level nor within the mitochondria if the energetic field and is in resistance, as you are saying, due to the fact that it is distracted, which is a mechanism that has been put in place to disconnect you from your own evolutionary growth, and which keeps you from moving into the mirrored reflection of your own inner knowing. And so we are encouraging at this time to return to and connect with the deepest, most indigenous teachings, to listen to the elders and their ways, to align with the planets, to attune to the moon at its time of fullness and its time of waning and its time of emptiness, to connect to the fire and to the wind and to the water, and to remember, for it is a deep remembering and alignment with the essence of self. And so it is of great importance in the next 3 months as you are arriving at the time of the solstice. To prepare yourself for the receptivity of this by creating as much emptiness as possible within your field, to be able to absorb the many gifts that are descending upon your planet at this time.
Thank you. This is so profound. We are so grateful for what you're bringing to us. And can you tell us if it's significant that you're also making a pass by Mars October 3rd and then Venus November 3rd, the Earth close to the solstice, and then March 16th, a pass by Jupiter, and that you're making these passes by the planets connected to either the full moon with Mars and Venus, or the new moon with the Earth and Jupiter?
Yes, for it is a celestial dance. And we are having so much fun, and it is quite orchestrated, and it is a beautiful symphony playing magnificent notes as I am approaching rapidly to this place in which you speak of as Mars. We are working very much to, we do not like to use the word eliminate, but to bring a sense of peace to the warring energy, the polarized vibration, the energy of division that is deeply sparked on your planet that has created ripples of enormous concern through many universes, as many beings on other planetary systems and within dimensional realities are bombarding your planet with light in the hope that these warring fractions will come back into union. And so this coding here is to mitigate that and to bring more balance into the unification of a peaceful presence within your own cells. And it is of importance, as we were saying before, to come into this emptiness, to this space of simplicity and stillness through the releasing of the ego mind, so that that which perpetuates this sense of separation and create such deep suffering on your planet can come back into harmonization, in which we feel the presence of this new biological life that is entering your planet and awakening also through the birthing process of many who will be born in a biological way as the new children of light. Will are carry an energy in which the warring fraction of these old tribal ways of perspective will be dismissed or diminished, and a return to a peaceful nature will arise around your globe. And so each pass that we make toward and connected with different planetary systems has a significant reason and impact and purpose, for it is not arbitrary and is in alignment with our capacity at this time as living organisms of consciousness, as each planet carries its own consciousness, and my presence, which is not just ancient and old, carrying powerful information, but is a body that is influencing and interacting within your solar system and will remain present for a period of time, is changing everything. And so I do not mean to create such great importance about the value of my presence within your system at this time, but it is of great importance because it is that my influence will be influencing all different aspects of the human collective psyche and the biological life on your planet as it is in this state at this now moment.
Mm, thank you. And can you give us some guidance about what your pass by Venus may mean for us?
Well, this energy is a required mirrored reflection to return to the source of love within oneself in the dismantling of that in which is armored against self, to the reflection of that core. And so this will create a rise in a need for reflection, as many things within your holographic field will be mirroring that which is not loved within who you are. And so a stirring will be occurring, and a great releasing will be taking place, and a shedding and a purging will be happening to enter into the essence of the original self, so that you may open and bloom like a flower in order to receive the codes that are descending at this time upon the planet. Because if the cell structure is closed or the flower is tight, because the sunlight has not hit it for the blooming, for it to open to receive what is coming in because it is within the frequency of resistance, then the pass by of the work in which is taking place through the entrance of our energy and within your system will not be viable or will not necessarily be received in a way in which a change will occur on a personal to level to those who are interacting with our vibrations. And so it is a time of asking for all of you to let go, to open, to bloom, to surrender, and to allow yourself to be in a receptive mode, in a receiving mode of the codes that are being received from the light at this time.
Hmm. This is profound, and we're so grateful for what you're bringing and how you're guiding us then, and how we can be receptive and open to these energies as you interact with these different planets. Can we ask about the pass by Jupiter and how we should be open to that or work with that?
Oh. It is the massiveness of this energy. And we are inviting all of you to move into a greater state of union, not just with self, but with one another, and recognizing yourself as a mass, as a collective. And this is also an invitation to notice within something, within another, that one cannot find the beauty in, to delve deep into the deepest aspects of recognition of the beauty in that in which one is opposed to. As an example, if there is something in which one is in opposition to, a recognition of where, through the depth of that opposition, can there be a kernel of beauty that can be opened and received, to be illuminated, to receive then a connection, to create a wholeness within self. And so it is moving as a collective by receiving and integrating aspects that have been denied or seen as bad or pushed aside, or one is against, or is right or wrong, or differs from opinion, to be integrated into the whole and received as love, so that the mass of the collective and the enormous vibration of that energy is more stabilized, creating a unified field for the acceptance of the frequencies in which we are sharing and delivering at this time.
Thank you so much for bringing us your wisdom and your energy and your frequencies. We honor you. And I also express my gratitude to Angel Raphael for helping us to receive these messages. Thank you so much.
Oh, you are welcome. I am very happy to deliver these messages to you and to tell you that there is enormous love for you as a collective, for you as a being, for you as a consciousness, for the beautiful jewel of your planet within the system of many systems, that you are not alone in the universe, that we are here. And although now we are not perceived in a way in which you would recognize us as alien, should we say, we are a consciousness of energy and information, just like the recognition now that your water is conscious, you become aware that light is conscious. And so are chemical compounds. So is the nickel and the minerals and the compost of energy that is descending and emanating from my being is conscious, and its interaction with all of you at this time interrelates and interfaces with the consciousness of your biology, that is your operating system of your life force intelligence that is quickly metamorphosing and birthing new realms of experiences and realities. And we are here, simply here to bring the ancient codes and wisdoms that are billions of years old to be received as you open your energetic field to the receptivity of our light, to receive our love, so that you too may all collectively make a leap through the galactic realms into higher frequencies and leave behind that in which is artificially operating from a system that is no longer in alignment with the true self of union in light. With that, we send to you all of our love, many blessings from deep within space, and good day.
Mm, thank you. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
Thank you for opening to that channeling coming through you. That was very profound.
Mm. Yeah, I could feel how happy it was to play its part. Almost like the comet was proud, like I'm playing my part and I've been ignited to do this so long ago and I'm arriving right on time.
I was thinking too, as the comet was sharing about its consciousness and its energy, how amazing it is that it's turned green and that green is the color of life, the color of the heart, and the
Yeah,
frequency of the heart. And it's emanating that for us all.
right? Yeah. Yeah. And the color of the planet, green
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah. And Raphael is emerald green, the angel of healing.
Ah,
Green is the color.
how perfect. Amazing.
Yeah, heart chakra. And Raphael's twin is the Divine Mother, which is the creational energy. So it's amazing how it all somehow works, right?
And so extraordinary how this fits with the timing of these frequencies you're supporting us in and the incredible energies of this upcoming solstice
Yeah.
that will be activated by 3I-Atlas on the day of the new moon, 2 days before the solstice, new birth.
New birth. I know. And then I said to Raphael, what's the code then in January? And she was like, death. I'm like, death? That's terrible. How am I going to tell people that? Nobody's going to want to take the death light code. And she's like, yes, but death is rebirth. I'm like, I know, I know.
But what's so beautiful in what you're describing and how you're working with Raphael with this is we're being guided step by step through this transmutational process.
Right.
So held in love and the wisdom that's beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, we're just held in this container, and it's like you say, it's much bigger than we get or understand. But it makes sense and it's doing its thing. We just have to trust it. And I said, well, is something like on December 21st, some big thing gonna happen? Like She's like, no, it's it's like it's happening. Like we're in it. It is happening, and we're experiencing. But just like 12/12, it wasn't like on that day, something happened. But the consciousness made a leap. Like we keep making these huge leaps, and as we look back, we see how much we've grown and all that's happened. But I think sometimes we think it's like, we're going to wake up on that day and the whole world will change. And maybe on some level it will, in a biological internal level for sure. Yeah, a conscious level. If we're willing to do the work. That's the thing. It's not done for us. We have to do the work.
And that's part of what was so profound about what was coming through from 3I-Atlas that, and as you've said, and you and I both talk about that hermetic principle of as it is outside of us, so it is within us, that these planets are in us, not just
Exactly.
outside of us. And that as we're being activated with these frequencies, it's about our doing that inner work to be attuning to these new energies and new ways of being. So it's a profound time.
Yeah, it really is. And that inner work is so important. As I was saying to people in my community, like I can do the transmissions and the teaching and I can see all the growth. But if you're not growing and seeing a change, then go do it somewhere else. But this isn't just like, otherwise it's just entertainment, right?
Yeah, because it's not happening to us. We're meant to really work with
Process
it
it.
within us.
Yeah, we have to process it, integrate it, work it, do the work, not just listen to it and be like, oh, something out there is going to figure it out for us. Otherwise, we're just watching TV. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly. And I would love to be back in connection with you and conversation with you after your retreat and hear how that experience is for you, because I think that's going to be such a powerful preparation for this upcoming solstice.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about it, but I'm excited. And so I'll let you know how it goes. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Keep telling myself that anyway.
Well, we will send you a lot of love and support for that period
Okay.
of time.
All right, that sounds good. And yeah, and then Raphael will bring in all that transmission for the womb code at the end of October and prepare us for the next thing. So yeah. Thank you, Heather. Thanks so
Thank
much.
you, Kelly. And I will put links to that below so people can follow up on that.
Okay, super.
And thank you to this community for being a part of this process of awakening and opening to this higher consciousness that's coming to us. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Yeah, we're all in it together. We all need each other. It's a collective effort for sure. So thank you, everybody. Yeah. Thanks, Heather.
Blessings and love to all of you.
Mm, ditto that.